Welcome back, everybody. Again, you are watching Impact, and today we're speaking with Jon Magoch about he's a financial planner, and what's happened, what can be done about it, what's the future looking like. And the first half of the show, we talked a little bit about generalities about what happened, et cetera, et cetera. Now we're going to get a little bit more specific, and what can we do? Let's take this into a more pragmatic approach for the consumer, for the person trying to save money, trying to retire at 65 years old, if that's even possible anymore, or sooner. Okay. Now, the first thing, obviously, I mean, it doesn't take a financial planner to tell you this, is savings is an important component.
Sure.
You got to save money, right? Yeah. Talk about that.
Savings, you know, when we look at savings, that's we absolutely have to create savings at this point in our life. And a lot of people are learning that having savings for the rainy day money or an emergency. And one of the things that we have to look at is we need to save efficiently. A lot of people are coming in and saying, John, you know, what do I do if I throw money in a savings account right now at the local bank? I'm earning 1/4%. I mean, I might be better off sticking it in a coffee can or underneath the mattress.
And I've heard people doing that.
Sure, sure. And that is kind of a thought process out there. Mm-hmm. But one of the things is with the internet and the ability to kind of find some things out there in the marketplace, particularly when it comes to savings and CDs, there are some very valuable tools that one can use to find a better rate. One of the first places that I would suggest when you're looking at CDs, because a lot of people are going out there and finding...
What is a CD, John? Just
a CD is a certificate of deposit. It's produced by the banks, and you put your money in the bank for an amount of time. It can be 3 months, a year, 3 years, 5 years. And then they give you a rate of return, a guaranteed rate of return, and they say you need to hold your money here generally for an amount of time. At that end of the time period, they give you that interest, your money, and the interest on that money. And then at that point, you can choose to re-roll the annuity, or the CD, or you can, go another direction.
Are there risks with CDs?
Well, it's FDIC insured.
Okay.
So one of the #1 things with a CD is that you have the federal government backing up these products. The rates are right now of how much of savings they'll protect is $250,000. That was changed in the recent past. It will probably drop back in the near future to $100,000. There may be an adjustment, but that's how much the federal government will protect if something were to go wrong with the bank.
Okay, so let's just say you had $500. You found $500 on the street. What would a very safe thing to do with that right now? Just take it into a CD and you can't touch it for however long?
That's a very safe route to do. There's absolutely, we could take go find a CD, and one of the places that you can go, we kind of got cut short there, was a website called bankrate.com. And what the site does is you can find national averages on CDs, but there's also a place where you can find out where you could maybe find a better CD, one that's performing better where you could invest money. And it describes what minimums you might have, because some places you can't put $500 into a CD.
Right.
And maybe if you have $500, you might just want to put it in savings, because you might need an emergency. So
when you say savings, are you referring to an emergency fund, or is that separate too? Because people say you should now prepare for 3 months of all your expenses in case you lose your job, perhaps, or even more than that, right?
6, 9 months, a year. Really, you should have a savings, a way to access money pretty quickly and very liquid and accessible.
So that's apart from these CDs that we're talking about.
Yeah, well, the CDs can be part of that plan. Because 3, 6 month, 9 month CDs can certainly be part of that plan. But we really need to have the ability to access money if we need it. Again, with the job markets, we've seen it here locally.
Yes.
Restaurants, companies, supermarkets, things that we never thought were going to maybe not be here. They're not here anymore. And so we need to make sure we have that savings. So when I look at savings, the first part is the bankrate.com for the CDs. But for savings account, otherwise beyond a checking where we just have money in savings, even if it's a couple of bucks, there's a couple of places online, ingdirect.com, hsbcdirect.com, immigrantbank.com. Those are banks that kind of use the internet as a tool, but they offer savings accounts that are completely liquid, no minimums, and are offering 1.4% right now. versus right now in the bank, savings accounts are at a 1/4%, maybe a 1/2%, especially when we're talking about the lower dollar amounts, the $5,000 and $6,000 type.
We're going to get into 401ks in a few minutes, but if you speak with somebody that doesn't make that much money, maybe they're a little bit younger, in their 20s or their 30s, they've been under the impression, I need to put X percent into my 401k. They tell themselves, hey, I am saving money. So what do? Do they continue that and go into a savings and do this? I mean, how much can you stretch a savings when it comes to people living paycheck to paycheck?
Well, and that's it. So when it comes to planning, it really goes all the way back to a budget. Because what you just said there is right. If we're living paycheck to paycheck, some people might say, what can I do? And a lot of times what we find is a lot of people don't have a budget, so they don't see where money is going. When we look at a budget, we can start finding out, where our money is going and what's important to us. I.e., is savings important to us, or is going out and having a good night important?
And it can be very eye-opening, I'm sure.
Exactly. So the budget is a way to open our eyes into what to do and then how to invest, how much to put into our 401k. Does the company match? How much to put in our savings? How much to put in into a CD type of account? Plus, there's a multitude of other variety of investments going to an advisor and looking at mutual funds. And
obviously good reasons to see an advisor if
sure.
you can.